Yo, what's up, my people? Welcome to another football chat with Moj. Today, we're going to focus on Manchester City versus Aston Villa, a game that played last night. A very wonderful game, I might add. A game that was poised to end in a draw, which we saw on both ends. Both teams looked like they were comfortable with the game ending a draw. But of course, no matter how comfortable you can be, as a home team, you have an advantage. You have the fans. You know what I mean? You have the fans. And when you have the fans, anything can happen. We see with Jeremy Doku, he gets the ball. He has a bit of a tussle with decisive. But because of Jeremy Doku's strength, of course, he maintains his stature. Because of his speed, of course, he also manages to drift away from decisive. And from there, he pushes the ball forward. He tries to get inside the 18. He's met with Konsa. At this point, Konsa really, he can't do much. He can't go for him and try to tackle him. I mean, it's in the 18. The game is about to end, probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes away. You don't want to cause any unnecessary fouls. We also see him holding his hands behind his back. He doesn't want to give a penalty, And from that happening now, what we see is Jeremy Doku sees Matheus Nunes at the far right hand, and he passes him the ball, and Matheus Nunes meets it with his right foot, and at the back of the net it goes. And just like that, Manchester City steals and wins the game. And although Manchester City has not been playing at the best level this season, they still know how to win. And this is a team that you need to take your opportunities when you create. Because if you don't, one opportunity, they can still bury it. They still have the aura. They may not have the quality, this season. Of course, their players are quality, but they've not been living up to standard this season. So the quality has dwindled somewhat. But the aura is still there. The aura is still there. And when they get an opportunity, they can still punish you. And they have quality all around. Like I said, even when Erling Haaland was out injured and they said he could probably be out for the next 3 months, I knew City will not be troubled. It's different from Liverpool, where if we lost Salah, we'll be in trouble. You know what I mean? If we lost Salah, that's probably 70% of our goals gone. But with Haaland also, he scores more goals for Manchester City. But even without him, with the amount of quality they have, they can still bury teams. They can still, win games. And that's also a sign of what we saw yesterday. They managed to do that. And to show how important that game was, we saw how ecstatic, how joyful Pep was, how he celebrated. He was just going around hugging, his bench, celebrating, of course, the win that they just got. Because from that win, games that are coming next, it's against teams like Southampton. I think, with the 4 games that are coming up next, Manchester City are probably going to win all of them. So I think definitely now it's confirmed they're definitely going to be in the top 4. So they'll definitely be in the Champions League next season. And also, I believe in the Champions League next season, they're going to take 5 teams from the Premier League. So, yeah, they'll definitely be included. Newcastle too, I'm not sure. I haven't checked their games. Them and Nottingham Forest, I haven't really checked their games to know how they're sitting. But judging from how they've been playing, I definitely think they'll also be part of the top 5, of course. So it'll be definitely Manchester City, Newcastle, Nottingham, Arsenal, and Liverpool. As for Chelsea, they're blowing hot and cold air at the minute, so you can never really be too sure with them. I think what they're waiting for is just to change whatever they can and bring in new players and go again next season. Aston Villa, they've just, a draw would have been very suitable for them. It would have given them a very good shout or a chance to be part of the top 5 too. But after losing that game, you saw how distraught, how disappointed they were. And I also, in as much as they're a good team, they still have troubles in keeping focus the entire 95 minutes. We saw how they also lost the tie against PSG, in Parc des Princes, when they conceded in the dying minutes through that Mendes goal. We see them also against Manchester City too, against Matheus Nunes in the 94th minute. So they have that problem, and I think that's what the coach needs to work on. They need to be sharp. They need to be 90% focused. That helps them in that look, these are two important games, right? Against Manchester City, they're fighting for the top four. Against PSG, they were fighting to go into the semi-finals, but their lack of focus is what has them, keep being second best in these ties. They were taken out. Obviously, they managed to win 3-2 at home, but it was still not enough because they were 2 goals down. So they needed at least a second goal to take the whole match to extra time and whatever. And against Manchester City, it was a draw, but they just lost focus, and just like that, they lost the game. So those are the things, those are the tiny details I think he's going to have to work on, especially going into next season if they are to, upgrade and go to the next level as a club. From the looks of it, looks like Manchester City will definitely be there. And well, that's good for them, judging from how much of a terrible season they've had this season, to be in the top 4 and to also still be in the FA Cup. They could get something. They have the potential to get something to wipe their tears, And yes, the game today, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, was a very important game. In that, of course, Arsenal didn't want to lose the game. They wanted to prolong Liverpool being crowned champions as much as they can, and unfortunately they drew the game. So drawing that game, what it means for Liverpool now is that in their next match at Anfield against Spurs, what they need there is either a draw or a win, and they'll be crowned champions. Arsenal also, they couldn't do it. And also, I must say that Arsenal are just different. This is not the Champions League Arsenal that we see in the Premier League. They're just a different team there. And also, it could be that they're demotivated. The fact that they've lost the league maybe could have, killed off, the desire to want to fight on. I mean, they're 13 points behind Liverpool. So, and also they are 7 points ahead of Manchester City with 4 games to go. So there's really not much to to fight for. They feel like they're comfortable where they are. So even I wouldn't say they don't want to win. Of course they wanted to win, but it's different from when you are leading and there's probably a person behind you, like 1 point behind you, or you are 1 point behind a leader. There's something about the team, the desire to want to win a game, even if they are to concede in the 94th minute and maybe they've added seven minutes. And right now, maybe it's 1-1 or it's 2-1, you are losing. And that's a game that you're not supposed to lose, either a draw or a win. In those 2 minutes, a team that does not want to drop points, you will see them fight and score in that 2 minutes, And right now with us now, that's not what we see. And I'm thinking it's because the league is gone. So there's really nothing to fight for. Hence why, they managed a draw. But also, we must also, I'm not trying to diminish, the hard work that Crystal Palace puts in every game. We know that they're difficult. That is a very difficult team. We see how they play against these big guns. They are like giant slayers. They derail you or they beat you. For Arsenal this time around, it was a draw, and that's what it is. So let's just wait for Liverpool, to play against Spurs. I'm thinking Liverpool will definitely win that one, unless if maybe today they decided to celebrate and drink a few, wines and whatever. But if they don't do that, if they take their next game serious, they're definitely going to win it. Because Spurs are just terrible these days. They're dreadful, So Liverpool are definitely champions. Now it's just a matter of waiting for next season, and we'll just see how it goes. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment your thoughts, obviously, based on the Premier League. And I'll see you guys again on Saturday and Sunday. Bye, guys.